What's going on, everyone? In this video, we're going to be doing the weekly recap of the stocked up trading floor. Another new week and more new all-time highs. And this week's going to be especially exciting as the Fed is about to cut rates for the first time this year. So it's definitely going to be an exciting week, but jumping into this week's recap, starting out on September 8th, we saw some decent action with PL, but besides that, nothing too crazy to start out the week. I would say a decent amount of duds, and a couple plays that moved up in a respectable way, but things really started to heat up as the week progressed. Looking on September 9th, we started to see an increase in volatility, which of course made for much more and much better opportunities, as we saw Riot and UNH increase by 302% and 236%. But we also saw a lot of other stocks move up in a good way, like Coin 114%, ExxonMobil 89%, Dollar Tree 89%, ASTS 65%, CNC 64%, and a lot of other plays as well. Of course, there were a handful of trades that ended up being duds, but overall, good opportunity on the 9th. And as the week went on, even better opportunities happened. So we can see, looking on the 10th, we saw AVGO 545%, Amazon 238%, Oracle 214%, ARM 210%, TTD 199%, APLD 76%, and so on. So pretty good action, especially with AVGO, 545% pop. And then looking on the 11th, again, a lot more good action. And I would say this was like the best day of the week, as there weren't like an overwhelming amount of plays. And the ones that did end up popping did very well. TEM 666%, CRCL 373%, OPEM 343%, LRCX 336%, MU 75%, QS 43%, RCAT 35%, BMNR basically the only dud 6%. So phenomenal day on the 11th. The 12th, Friday, was pretty decent as well. Not as crazy, but certainly respectable, with RGTI, WBD, IONQ, and Rivian all having over 100% pops, with RGTI having a 359% pop. Good action all around, a few duds sprinkled in. So overall, solid week. Great to see. Looking at the pullbacks channel, naturally, these ones are going to be much more tame. They're not going to be as crazy because the best plays don't pull back. They just keep on going. But the trade-off is that pullback setups tend to be slower, smoother, and generally easier to trade. So as we can see, looking through these, good action. Nothing like a 600% pop like we saw with some of the breakouts, but definitely respectable and good to see. Looking at the recap for the theta trades, all 4 trades expired for max profit. Great to see. As always, shorting put options is something that you should definitely look into if you are not currently aware of how it works. Not only because you can put yourself in a good position to get paid to potentially buy stocks that you're happy to own at prices you're happy to own them at, which is not only advantageous as it is, especially for building a longer term portfolio, but you also have an embedded edge because the options you are selling have what's called a volatility risk premium embedded into them. And it's basically an edge where you're selling options that are theoretically a little bit more expensive than they should be. And I would say even just as beneficial, if not even more beneficial, is learning how to sell options opens your mind into the way that multiple options can be combined together, like spread trading, to more effectively navigate the options chain, as well as just learn how to use options to their fullest potential. So either way, if you need help, feel free to reach out to Tom, Hunter, Mason, or myself in SM chat, and we'll make sure you're taken care of. The theta trades is called shorting put options, writing put options, or cash secured put options. They're all, basically the same thing. So feel free to look into that. But we should have a very exciting week ahead of us. It is Fed rate cut week, and it's at all-time highs. So thank you all so much for watching, and have a great rest of your weekend.